In this lesson, we'll have a look at how to set up our employee details. So we do have a user account where we log into the system and do things, but we've also got an account for a user which is linked. So let's have a quick look at that. So I'll go to our menu and down to employees. I can see that Morgan does have a tile here, a tile in a Kanban view is what we're calling this. So it's Kanban view because we're looking at tiles. We've also got list view over here, which I'm sure you've seen in another exercise, and we've also got the activities that are current. But I'll go back here because this is the standard way that we manage our employees. If you had multiple employees, they'd all be listed here. So just because a person's an employee doesn't necessarily mean they've got an account on the system. But Morgan does. He's both an employee and an operator within the software. So not all of your employees, if you manage large companies or even reasonable sized companies, you might only have a handful of login users here, but you might have hundreds of employees. So there's a little bit of difference there. But this particular employee is linked to that login user. So let's open this tile up. And we can see Morgan's details here. We can see his presence time up here, and we can see his timesheets. So if you've gone through the navigation video, which I'm sure you have, we know we've got our breadcrumbs at the top. We've got our whether we edit and create and all those sort of actions at the top. We can print. We've got the other list of actions here. We've got our navigation. We can cycle through this. This is one of one, so I can't right click or left click it because there is only one person here. I can launch a plan from here. So we've got some action buttons here. You might notice too that this is a grey one. So if it's grey, it's not your typical next action, but it is an action you can do. And if they're highlighted in that solid purpley colour, then chances are that's the button you'll want to push for whatever action you're doing. So typically if you come in here, chances are you're going to edit, so they highlight the edit button. But from here you can create a brand new employee on the fly. So McKinley, it's pulled most of the data that we filled in from, if you recall from a previous lesson, from the details we put in for that person, from that logon screen. We can see the work address has come from the company information. Here's where we can schedule the hours that this particular person works. So they might work a standard 40-hour week. I'll go into edit mode because guess what? That's what we want to do. And from here I can select any of the other pre-configured times. Work hours. If you do have some employees that maybe work a 20-hour week, maybe they only work 2 days a week, maybe they work 4, you can configure up your own standard hours for those people, or special hours if you like, by going and clicking this button, which will take you off to that particular part of the system. I won't do that now. I think for Morgan's going to work his 40 hours a week as a consultant. We're in the Marlow is in Victoria, so we've set it to the time zone of Melbourne, which is applicable for the whole of Victoria. So that's all good there. I'll scoot back up to the top again. Departments, we can set up multiple departments here if we want. There is only the 2 set up, which come standard on the standard install, but you can set up as many departments as you like. If you do have other staff, you can set managers for those people and who their coach is and that kind of thing. Private information, you can fill in lots of information here. If you're going to use this for tracking that information, Australia has one of the most complicated or complex payroll systems in the world. It's definitely ranked up there. Someone told me 6th the other day. I'm not sure whether that's actually true or not, but the 6th most complex payroll system in the world. So typically what we would do in that scenario where we've got payroll and we've got external employees, employees, we would use a product such as KeyPay and then link this product to KeyPay. But that being said, KeyPay would have all of this information covered, so we don't really need to put it in here. That's where I'm getting to there. However, if you're for completeness, you quite well can put that in. The HR settings is the one we really want to get to. This is where it's all been leading to. So this person is an employee, and the related user is related to the log-on user. As I said before, if it can be an employee, but if there's no internal user for it, this will be blank. But because this Morgan's the employee is Morgan the log-on person, the one and the same, then that's the related user there. Payroll position, you can put a position in there if you want. If you're going to track attendance, you can put in a PIN code so they can, when they come in to work, they've got to put a PIN number in, and when they leave work, they've got to put a PIN number in, and then that records their attendance. Or if they've got a badge, you can generate a badge and it will have a barcode on it, and they'll set the barcode when they come in and set the barcode when they go out. Again, not really relevant here. This whole thing is all about getting to this one spot down the bottom here. So what we're going to do is set up a timesheet cost for this employee, Morgan. Now, Morgan is running his own business, so it's kind of like it's all his money, but at the end of the day, it's good to see how your projects are tracking if we nominate a cost. So Morgan might decide that he's going to pay himself, let's say, $1,000 a week. Out of that, he's going to pay tax and a few other bits and pieces. So it'd be good to recognise that that he's going to be paying himself some money, and the company or the business is going to be making other money. So the business might make $10,000 this week, and then make nothing for 6 weeks, and then make another $10,000, and it'd be very, very lumpy like that. Not a real good way of managing your money from an individual's perspective. So we might have it that Morgan's pulling out a certain amount of cash each week, or each fortnight, or whatever the case might be. So this is where the timesheet comes in really handy. The timesheet costs come in really handy. So what I'll do is I'll put in $25 per hour here. So $25 per hour, and if we multiply that by, if we go back to work information, 40 hours per week, that's roughly our $1,000 per week. So now we have that turned on. We'll save that information. And so now when we're using Morgan in projects and we can assign tasks to him, we can start to get a cost for how much his wages, how much he's pulling out of the system every week, despite what money's coming in from all the various projects that Morgan's working on. So there's a bit of a difference there. So when we're going to do an analysis on a project or on a piece of work, we can see very quickly how much that's cost in terms of labour effort for Morgan as he's done that work. So I hope all that made sense. But as we're using projects, setting an hourly rate on your HR settings and ensuring you've got the correct work hours set up really helps to calculate the costs of running those projects. So I will leave it there for this lesson. That's how to set up your employee costs and change any of the employee information here if you need to. And I will see you on the next one.